Okay, so this is one of the toughest things I've done in a really long time. But as my brain works 50-50 now, after the operation, negative and logical thoughts are now even. The logical part of me is saying that I need to let people know what's going on, especially because I've been struggling to talk to friends for this exact reason. And I'm only doing this now because it's just occurred to me yesterday. It's been a gradual process. The reason this is difficult for me is because I've written blogs and done vlogs on how to help people through these moments. And now I'm being told this is hypocritical and I can't write this because it'll make me into a liar, which is exactly why I need to say this. In fact, this is one of the ways I deal with this. I take the blackmail it uses against me and show it to the world myself. Let me clarify. The voice is back. Sad to say, I'm not referring to the show in which members of the public go on television and showcase their musical talents. I'm talking about the little imaginary being that sits on my shoulder and whispers sweet, extremely negative nothings into my ear. Constantly. Come to think of it, literally, constantly. I was going to write on my blog, I was going to write voice with a capital V instead of voice with a lowercase v, but I feel the capital V gives it more importance than it deserves. A lowercase v gives me minute control over its importance. One more brick in the wall of my own personal defiance towards it. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is the voice that sits there waiting for me to fuck up either verbally or through action. And if I do, woe betide, as I will then encounter the most crippling brain freeze ever. Actually, the brain freeze you get during eating ice cream is a pretty good description for what I personally feel. That feeling of immense discomfort with a hint of stabbing pain to the point where you're no longer able to think and just need to grab your head, squint your eyes, and pray each gesture warms your head just enough to get rid of the razor that's just dug itself inside your skull. Ice cream brain freeze is never pleasant. Voice-led brain freeze, otherwise known as a panic attack. Keep that intense feeling of discomfort, but remove the stabbing pain and replace with mind-filling numbness. A grey gauze tunnel vision before your eyes and the feeling that you're trapped in a room that has no escape is slowly filling with a toxic gas that will kill you in the most painful way possible. Add a hint of chest pain, inability to breathe without hyperventilating, and hey presto, the voice has achieved its result. It then takes a smug back seat as you're forced into whichever small space you can find, whilst in tears, followed by a tasty dose of depression. Now, that's not what I get alongside the voice, that's simply what it constantly keeps me alert to. The voice sits there and warns me that if I do or say anything remotely stupid, it'll lock me in that room. And again, it's constant. Frustratingly enough, this isn't the kind of mental state which is resolved with exercise, healthy diet, meditation, and positive thinking. It's a chemical reaction. It's the lack of serotonin, which even exercise and a good diet won't help. I realised this helped me in the past when I was on the antidepressant. It just gave the drugs a boost. I now have a feeling I stopped taking the drug when I started to feel better, thinking that was just me feeling fine post-operation. I thought I was back to normal. I didn't need to take it anymore. Nope. That was just it working its magic on me. So the progression of the voice returning to its throne has been happening gradually, but it has been happening. It's just given me a slight memory there, which it does every so often. It's also increased my social anxiety too. I feel atmospheres, I pick up on tension, excitement, pretty much any emotion in the air if it's strong enough. As I'm reading this, I get reminded of random memories and stuff, and random emotions that I felt during those memories, which is why I keep randomly flinching or twitching, because it's working its magic now. I keep just getting something, and yeah. Which is why in particular social settings can often make me feel like I'm going insane. The panther in my brain wakes up. Remember the panther I mentioned pre-op? It wakes up, growls, and I get aggressive. So I have to run to protect others from getting bitten. To deal with high energy social situations, I tend to sit with my back to a wall with a piece of technology to hand. This helps me, 1, keep safe and in control, 2, keeps the panther in check. I tend to use my tablet because it's like an electronic babysitter for the bad part of my brain. Keeps it busy whilst I enjoy myself. Yesterday I was returning from my parents' house, and instead of feeling good after a really nice day with them, the voice was ridiculously active. And that's when it occurred to me that every day is now a personal battle to keep that voice at bay. I found myself thinking at one point, I can fight this, I always do, I'm strong. Then another, smaller, quieter voice, my gut instinct, spoke up. I knew it wasn't the voice because it didn't have as much venom, and reminded me that was this now a, this, and reminded me that this was now a daily, hourly battle. Was I really going to keep fighting? How much inner strength did I have before it knocks me down again? So I'm returning to the antidepressants, and I'll try and sort my life and my career and finances before I consider coming off them once again. But for now, I need them. And that, right there, boys and girls, is, as someone who sees herself as strong and a fighter, is why I was so reluctant to write this post. Thank you to all of you who've so far told me it's not taking a step backwards or defeat. It's being self-aware and taking control. And that's what I'm doing.